Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Best Kept Secrets in Healthcare show. My name is Dr. Drury. This is Dr. Hartman, and today we have a special guest with us. This is Tuere Dunton-Forbes, and she is with N360, and she is a health coach. Thus, the title of our talk today: Do you need a health coach? So, Tuere, let's get right to it. So, tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you even start to become a health coach?
So my journey actually began with the loss of both of my parents to diseases that could have been prevented.
Wow.
My father died in October 2013 from stage 4 lung cancer, and my mother died in May 2016 from atherosclerosis, which is basically the hardening of the arteries. And both of their demises were caused from lifestyle choices they made throughout their life, especially from what I witnessed and what I remember. And so after experiencing those losses, it took a toll on me, not just mentally, but also physically. And then I began to experience health challenges as well. And it was a journey, a hard journey, that included a lot of doctors, a lot of specialists, a lot of possible diagnoses, a lot of prescriptions. And so I, during that journey, had to make the decision that I wanted to live as the CEO over my life and over my health. And in order to do that, I had to take the information, but make the final decisions of how I was going to tackle.
I remember when you and I first met, you were pretty frustrated.
Yes.
You'd been to a lot of doctors.
Yes.
You'd done a lot of research. You even brought me information from other doctors to get my opinion on it. And I remember how steadfast you were on, like, I've got to figure this out and get to the bottom of it, which is great. I'm glad you've considered. It's been great watching you grow and see you learn more and more and more, to the point where, you know, you're just like, hey, you know what? I know enough now. I can teach other people.
Right.
Which is pretty much what a health coach does, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's what I have a passion for, is teaching other people along their journey. And it doesn't have to be in response to a diagnosis, but just wanting to live healthier. Prevention is so much better than having to respond to a diagnosis.
If America would spend more time on preventing rather than waiting until they get sick, you know, that's what we teach all the time in the office too. You know, don't wait till you get sick. And that's the medical approach, right? If you go to medical doctors, there's really nothing they can do to you until you already have a symptom. By then, sometimes, the symptoms is too late.
Yeah.
Right. And sort of, we talk about the disciplines in your life or your routine can really lead to the freedoms that you're able to have, being free of going to your medical doctor, or free of trying to always go to this because you lack that health. But to where, what is a typical, a daily, a day-to-day look like for not only yourself, because we know you have a family, right?
Yes.
But for some of your clients that you would, help them through this health journey.
So day to day, starting off for myself, I like to start the day first thing in the morning with water. It's just starting with water. It's so important to stay hydrated. That used to be a challenge of mine. Whenever I used to go to an annual appointment, the doctor would always say, "Do you know you're hydrated?" And I would think that I drank enough water, but I didn't. So I always start my day with room temperature water, at least 16 ounces, just to wake the organs up and to get started. And also movement is very important to the beginning of my day, as far as starting exercise. Like you said, I have a family, so the best time for me to get that in is first thing in the morning while they're still sleeping. And that's normally when I do it, is first thing in the morning is the exercise. Because not only is it helping you physically, but you'll be amazed at how differently your mindset is throughout the day. You're so much more energized. Your thoughts are a lot clearer, and it doesn't have to be anything too strenuous. Just something, it could be 20 to 30 minutes. Something light, walking, something in your home. You don't have to be a gym or a personal trainer. Those are great, and I've used those before. But just getting started with moving and not having a sedentary lifestyle are very key and very important. And then the third thing, not just for myself, but also with my clients, a lot of the times we address what they're putting in their body as far as what you're eating. So a lot of people live to eat when we should be eating to live. And in that, we have to eat live foods. So a lot of, in this day, is eat immediate gratification.
Sure.
So we have to be mindful to put live foods and those raw fruits and vegetables back in us. Because if you work a hectic lifestyle, you can't continue to expect your body to give, and support your lifestyle if you're not putting support back in it. And so that's what we focus on a lot, is what they're putting in their bodies through their food. Not even just that, but even their surroundings. This day and age is so technology driven, and so we spend a lot of times with technology devices, and so we need to take a break from that. There's ways to detox your bodies of EMFs or electromagnetic frequencies. So we talk about those things too. And then also in regards to environment, what are you listening to? Who are you listening to? That plays a big role too, the company that you're keeping. Because you need people around you that are going to encourage you and empower you to keep pushing towards something positive and not holding you back. because they enjoy you being where you are. So it's about you being happy. So what are your goals and how do you want to achieve them? And I just work to support you and coach you in that process.
So it sounds to me like you want to get rid of as much negative as you can, right? I mean, not just, negative foods, things that don't serve you. You want to you want things that are going to benefit you. There's always kind of a check and balance, and including even emotionally the people that are going to, you don't want people around you that are going to, they don't support you and where you want to go in your goals, right? They're going to kind of, I agree with that totally. So I know you've had emotional change, kind of a rebirthing sort of say of what's happened with you. So tell us a little bit about that.
So the emotional part of it, just to give you a little more about my health journey, after I lost my father, I was having the physical challenges, the health challenges too. And it took about 2 years to get to the root of it or for it to be diagnosed or given a label. And it was diagnosed as Lyme disease from a tick bite. Yeah. And so with tick or with Lyme disease, it's known as the great mimicker by a lot of physicians because it can mimic a lot of other diseases. One of the things that the virus does is attack your mental stability and your brain. And so emotionally, I was on a roller coaster. I was going through a depression. I was at a point where, not where I wanted to take my life, but I literally was praying to God, like if he wanted to go ahead and end it, I was okay with that. Wow. Because I was in so much discomfort and so much pain, and I didn't want my family, my husband and my daughter to continue to witness that day in and day out. It was taking a toll on them. So as I was making the changes, of course, to the foods and to the exercises, I was also having to change how I was thinking. And one of the things that I did to help change that was, one, I got off the internet, because on the internet you can diagnose yourself. Google can give you so many answers of what's going on with you. Right. And I put positive people around me. I had to accept the fact that though I also work as a school counselor in a district, I couldn't guide myself through that. So I had to seek professional help and go to counseling, not only just for the loss of my parent, but also to help me get through what I was feeling in my body, because at the time it had not been diagnosed, but I knew that there was something going on. So I put positive people around me. And I started, when I was talking to the different physicians I was being sent to, letting them know what my goal was. Because some were saying this was going to be the rest of my life, and others were saying it doesn't have to be. Mm-hmm. So those who were saying it didn't have to be were the ones I was drawn to, right. Sure. Which upper cervical care was one of those places that I drew to with Dr. Drury and now Dr. Hartman, because they believed that it didn't have to be the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
And so that positivity of people, and also those that encouraged me to continue on the path that I was on, and that really just helped me. And taking time to myself, that even took, like, maybe I remember one day my husband dropped me off in the field and said, just go out there and scream and cry and say everything that's going on. But that was really what I needed. Yeah. And we need to be okay that we have times like that in our lives sometimes.
Sure.
And have those people around us that's not going to try to put a label on us because we're having those emotional changes.
I scream 2 or 3 times a day. So, sometimes it's good to let that stuff out. Absolutely.
Well, obviously from really your purpose and passion and your why is because of your family. And I can tell just the way you talk about them so much, that is a big part of why you do what you do now. But how has this not only changed, obviously, yourself, but how has it made an impact in your family and your husband and your kids? Can you talk about that a little bit? So
it's funny you asked that, because that's still a work in progress. Because my husband is one of the most stubborn clients I have.
That's right.
He has an attitude sometimes that if it's not broke, why we got to fix it? And so it's not that we want to wait till it breaks. We want to do prevention. But I can say that he is very supportive in the changes I've made, and he has made a lot of changes too, even with the food that we eat. So, we have days where I will cook, and then days where he'll cook, and I'll pick what I'm going to eat of what he's cooked. But I still, we still take in part. For my daughter, she's one of my biggest motivators, because I don't want her to wait until she becomes an adult and be told that something is wrong and then try to figure out how to reverse it. She will already have the knowledge that I'm just now gaining as an adult to say, you know what, I know I need to eat more of this, or I know I need to make sure I move, or I know I need to take time and rest and sleep. And so that's what I do is, plan. That's a big thing. Whenever you make big changes in your life, you have to plan. And so a lot of the times that's where people fall off, is because they'll just say, I'm going to do it, but they won't plan. You have to put it in writing. You have to put it up where you see it, and you have reminders. And so that's what I teach my daughter. I'm teaching her how to use a calendar to put the things that we're doing that are healthy and as a reminder. Even with my husband, as a reminder, he'll say, if you put it on the calendar, this is what we're going to eat, then I'll remember and won't be so tempted to stop at a drive-through on the way home.
It's true.
So it's a challenge in that, in the household, because we were used to eating certain ways and having certain snacks. But now I have certain systems at home where I make sure the snack bin is packed with healthy snacks. So when she goes and grabs it for her lunch or for the day or whatever the case may be, I don't have to be concerned about what she has because I know what I put in there. And the same thing with my husband. I sneak a couple of healthy things in his lunch too for work. So
absolutely, yeah.
It ends up working
sort of
out.
force feed them to eat clean.
With
Yeah,
love.
yeah, that's it. It's all.
Yeah, I've found in my family, if it's there, we'll eat it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, just don't put it there. I'm the same way. I'm just as bad. If there's ice cream in the refrigerator, and I go looking for something to eat, I'm gonna go with, and the same thing with our kids, So if you have cookies or you have bananas, they're gonna go with whatever's easy and quick to get a hold of. So we're just like, well, we just don't make the cookies available and keep the bananas out and lock everything else up for special occasions, right? But all right, so give me an idea of, now I know you've been working with clients now for a while, so give me an idea, so when you first meet up with a client, what are the steps? What are the kind of stages you go through with the client to kind of get the ball rolling? So somebody's watching or thinking, I don't know, do I need a health coach? So they anticipate what to expect.
So one of the first things I have a person do before they decide to become one of my clients is to fill out a pre-consultation form, and that's just via a link and email that I send out. To get an idea of what they're already doing. You don't want to hit someone with a whole list of things they need to do and you don't know what they're already doing. And so it helps me know what they're already doing. What are your top 3 goals? We're just going to work on 3. And because you don't want to be overwhelmed. And so they fill out a lot of information. I want to know what you've already tried. Are you already working with someone? Even including doctors, because I'm not a physician. I'm there as additional support. So I don't want to tell you not to do something your doctor's doing. I want what we're going to work on to support that. So it starts with the consultation form, and my consultations are 30 minutes, and they're free because they need to know if I'm a good fit for them, and I need to know if they're a good fit for me to work with. So that's first. And then after they complete that form and we set up the first consultation, we go through the form, and then we decide if we're a good fit. Once we decide if we're a good fit and if we want to work together, then we start talking about the goals. Which goal do you want to work on first? Because the client is the leader of the relationship. I am the supporter and the encourager in the process. So I let them decide, where do we want to go first? And we have to be realistic about what they're willing to do and what they're not willing to do. If it's something with health as far as eating, then we look at what they're doing. One of the major things that a lot of people don't think about when they're changing their eating, you can change and start eating good things, but you also need to detox what you've been eating that's not as good. It doesn't make sense to put healthy on top of unhealthy because the foundation is unhealthy. So the healthy is not really taking root and making a difference if you haven't cleaned the palate. And so we work on detoxing the body, different ways to do that, be it if it's naturally, different vitamins or supplements that they consult their doctors about that we include, and then moving forward. If it's something in regard, I have had a client before that said, I struggle with saying no. And so that was one of her downfalls of always being the yes person. When people called and asked for money or called and asked for favors, that was the root of her stress, not knowing how to say no. So we worked on her learning the power of no and being okay with it to take her life back and her time back.
Yeah.
Or it may be financial strategies and just the basics, of getting started. And then if you need to go more in depth, I do have people that I work with that are equipped to just, dive in deep with more intense budgeting or whatever the case may be. So it depends on what the client wants to work on. Right. I help them get started, and I am there to just cheer them on. I've helped clients in as little as a month, and I've had clients who work with me as long as a year. So it just depends.
Yeah. One thing I would like to say is that, a lot of times people, they get all excited and say, hey, yeah, I want to go do this. Just with anything, you got to be ready to make a change. You got to decide, what, I'm ready to do something different, because otherwise Tuere's not going to be able to help you very much, just as any other, person can make suggestions, but you're not going to follow through with it. It's really hard to really make a difference until you decide you're going to make a difference, right?
Yes. That is key, making a decision.
Yeah,
and
right.
So
you got to commit.
Why I do the free consultation, because once we talk about it, may be hard to talk about. And that's one of the biggest challenges is people see needing help as a crutch, but it's not.
Right.
It's a starting point of accepting your truth and then making the decision that you want to do something.
Well, and a lot. My wife's a personal trainer, so she helps people with their workouts and stuff like that. And the thing that surprises us, especially if you've been ingrained in it for so long, is how many people really just don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know. They don't know that that you can't eat French fries every day and maintain a good, and be healthy and maintain your weight, and they just don't know. And so it's nice to have somebody that can lay it out for you and say, these are the things that are good, these are the things that are not, these are the things maybe you can do, every now and then, just don't, overindulge.
Right. And that's something, I talk about with my clients, because even when we come to the workout piece, I'm not a certified fitness person, but I do work with people that they can work out, but I can at least get them started. But I always let them know that you can't outwork a bad diet.
Yeah, right.
You can't, just because you're working out, continue to eat French fries every day and, I'm going to the gym. That's counterproductive. And so we have real conversations like that. Like, you got to be serious about wanting to make these changes in your life.
Most of the professional athletes I've seen usually say it's like 90% diet, 10% what you do in the gym.
Yes.
And so, that's the problem is people are like, man, I worked out for 2 hours yesterday, and they go home and order a pizza and drink, a 6-pack of beer, and they can't understand why they're still not,
Right.
Yeah, I've heard of those people. Okay, Dr. Hartman, you got anything else you want to add?
I don't. I just want to applaud you, and I think this is the perfect time to do that, especially for our viewers here. I mean, there's just an overconsumption of amount of information that's out there. One thing can say this, another thing can say that, and it's really, you want to listen and learn from a person who's gotten the results, has a stronger purpose and passion. I mean, she's definitely about being proactive and really taking care of not only your overall health, but really your well-being. And she's looking out for yourself. She's looking out for your family, as she's doing for herself. So very personal woman. I would highly recommend her. You're getting me excited. So I hope this video found you well. And but again, information means nothing without action, and that's really the next step. Where how can we reach out to you?
So my 2 social platforms right now are Facebook and Instagram, and you can find me at N360Life on both of those. They also have my cell phone number connected to my Instagram page, but that's pretty much how I am reached for the most part as of right now. Also, for those that like to do email, it's N360life@gmail. If you just want to email, maybe you're not ready to have a live conversation, but you want to talk through email, you can do that as well. So not only do I provide individual coaching, but I work with families, and I also teach workshops just on the lean lifestyle, which is where my certification is from Dr. Sears Wellness Institute and his lean curriculum. So,
all right, so let's get it right again. The letter N, 360 Life. That's Facebook, that's Instagram, and then
the email as well.
At gmail.com, right? So that's pretty easy. So go check out Tuere's stuff, talk to her, see if maybe there's something maybe she can help you with. If you have any questions, we'll tag her on this when we post it. So you guys, if you have questions you want to put on the video, you're welcome to, or just contact her directly. Anything else you want to add?
I am so honored. Thank you all
for
being a part of my wellness team.
Exactly.
Because I still come to them. They are part of my wellness team. Just because I help others, it doesn't stop that I have to take care of myself. So that's a continuous process as well.
Absolutely. Awesome. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. And where we share the best kept secrets in healthcare that you're not going to find anywhere else, certainly not mainstream media. But please pass this on, share with other people. You never know who might need a health coach out there. I'd say probably just about everybody needs a little bit of help.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Have a good one.